Hey guys, how y'all doing? Welcome back to my channel. I know that this is a bit of a different setup for us, but I just got a new desk and I've kind of set it all up except for my wall. Ignore the wall. We're gonna get there eventually, but I wanted to film a writing update and I want all my writing videos from now on to be filmed in front of this background. So hopefully that's something that we can do. I wanted to do a writing update today because I'm currently working on draft 3 of my novel Reasons Why Not To, and I kind of just wanted to give you guys an update of where I am because I didn't upload a February writing vlog because I realized I only filmed one clip for it, so there's that. And I just, didn't do a whole lot, and so I'm working on the March one right now, but it's not going to come out obviously for a little while to the end of the month, so I thought I'll just give you guys like a rundown, a brief update of what I'm currently doing, kind of how it's going and all of that jam. I'm also going to be touching base on Camp NaNoWriMo and why I will not be participating, and then I'm also going to be doing a little mini Q&A at the end because I asked for some questions on Twitter and I didn't get enough to actually do a full-on Q&A video, so we're just adding it at the end of this video. So let's just jump into it because I've been rambling for too long. So let's just start with giving a draft 3 update word count and page count wise. So it's currently 14,063 words and it is 58 pages, which isn't a lot, but this has primarily been a complete rewrite for the beginning of the book because I bought Save the Cat by Jessica Brody. Save the Cat writes a novel, which you guys would have seen in my last writing vlog for January, and it kind of opened up my eyes to all of the problems that Act 1 had, and Act 1 was far too easy for my main character, and I didn't like Act 1 anymore, and I knew I wanted to make a change already before I bought Save the Cat, and then with that I just kind of spiraled and made more changes, so it's looking really different from Act 1 of Draft 2 and from Draft 1, so it's like completely different than what it's ever been, and it's been really, really difficult, and I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself, which is unnecessary. But this has been really, really hard and really slow going, and I like wrote a section and then I was backpedaling, so I'm like in the middle of like what I wrote and then what I have written. It's really complicated, but we're trucking along. I'm hoping to get some writing done later as well after I film and edit some videos, but it's been a time. But I have found that since getting this new desk I want to sit here all the time, which is making me do work things, not necessarily always writing, but I find that I just always want to be sitting at this desk because I just love it so much. And look at my beautiful pencil lamp from IKEA. I'm going to be doing a desk office tour at some point of this whole writing area once the whole wall is situated, and I have a little drawer down here that needs some organizing, so once all of that is situated I will do a desk tour, and I will link everything down below, like this beautiful pencil lamp that I'm obsessed with. Anyways, let's continue into the actual update. Yeah, my imposter syndrome and my anxiety has been flaring up a lot in regards to this revision. I've kind of been very up and down. I'll have like 1 or 2 good days feeling like this book can be published, yay, I feel like it's getting there, and blah 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 blah, and I feel really good. And you guys saw some of those moments in January in that vlog where I was like, I think this book can be published, and I've hit a lot of lows last month and this month where I'm just kind of like, can this book be published? Is it publishable? Is it good enough to be published? And I think the problem is that I've just been stuck with this book alone in my head for so long. Like, nobody else has read this book but me. People have seen snippets of it, little paragraphs or lines that I've sent them, but nobody has seen this book in its entirety, and I feel like I've just been stuck with it for so long that I just can't see it properly anymore. I can't see it clearly and I need somebody else to see it. But unfortunately I'm in the middle of another draft, I'm in the middle of a revision, so I can't just send it off because it's not complete. So I'm trying to just kind of power through this revision and then finally just give up, send it to somebody else and get their opinions, get their feedback, because I just can't be alone with this book anymore. I can't tell if I'm making it better or if I'm making it worse, and it is awful. I will hopefully never wait this long to send it off to somebody again. I was just feeling so self-conscious of it, and I was like, I need to fix things. And I also I don't think I expected for this revision to be so much work. I didn't think that I would have to do a bunch of total rewrite. I thought that it was relatively solid story-wise, and it's just not. So it's turning out to be a lot harder than I originally planned for it to be or originally thought that it would be, and so that's kind of a big roadblock that I've been dealing with and something that's been causing me a lot of anxiety and a lot of self-doubt. You can ask any of my friends. I've been texting them like crazy being like, I don't know if I can do this, I don't know if I'm good enough, and I've just been struggling a lot, and I second guess almost every single word that I'm putting down, and it's just really, really hard. But that's kind of basically all I have, like the general update about the book. It's just really, really hard. I've re-outlined parts of Act 1 to kind of follow the Save the Cab beat sheet a little bit more and work through all of that, and that seems to be helping a little bit. And while I can't fully see if I'm making it better or worse, I think in general I'm making it stronger structure-wise, I hope. I guess we'll just have to find out when I send it off to people, but I'm feeling really self-conscious about this novel right now. Julia keeps asking for snippets and I just don't feel comfortable sending them right now because I'm just not feeling confident, and that sucks. So I don't know, but the last thing I want to say is I am giving myself a bit of a deadline for this revision, because I find that I'm not giving myself deadlines and I'm just kind of, either I'm giving myself really unrealistic deadlines and goals and then I feel bad when I don't hit them, or I'm not setting them at all and then I'm just kind of free falling and I'm not really pushing myself to finish. I was like, oh, I've got time, I can take a day off, and it's not good for the project. So I have decided on a deadline of April 30th for the revision. Okay, so I'm hoping for Act 1 to be done from the 24th to the 27th. I'm giving myself some breathing room, so it's not like one hard date, but 24th to the 27th of March of this month for Act 1 to be done. And then for Act 2, I'm hoping 10 to the 15th of April that can be done, and then finish Act 3 by the 30th. I'm kind of worried about Act 3 though, so I'm hoping that I can kind of finish something earlier than I'm supposed to, because Act 3, I don't like the way the book ends, so that one is going to be another toughie to get through. So like I don't think there's a lot of like structural things I need to change about Act 2. It's primarily Act 1 and Act 3 that have like the major changes to do, so I'm struggling. But I think I'm going to give myself maybe a wiggle room up until maybe like the 6th of May. Just in case. But the goal is April 30th to finish these revisions. So let's hope that I can do that, because I am stressed. Also, there is not coffee or tea or hot chocolate in here. There's juice. I just wanted to put it in a mug to make it look more fancy. Let's talk about Camp NaNoWriMo. So I wasn't planning on participating because I'm revising a book and I'm just like, I don't think that really fits into a NaNoWriMo type thing. I don't want to do that. So I was like, no, not doing NaNoWriMo. And I was like, oh, maybe I will. I'll just go on the website and see what their options are for what you can do. Because I know for Camp NaNoWriMo you can change your word count goal, but I also thought that I remembered there being like an hours goal and a chapters goal and whatnot. I went on the site to see what kind of the options were, to see if I could somehow make it work for me, because you guys know me, I love my certificates. I've got Camp Nano ones over here now, and NaNoWriMo ones are just above those things there. I love the certificates, I love NaNoWriMos, I love doing the vlogs for you guys that kind of make it a little extra special than the normal vlogs, and they're gone. The options are gone. You can still change the word count, I think, but it's gone. You can only do words, and that has come with the merge of the two sites. NaNoWriMo and Camp NaNoWriMo are now housed on one website, and I hate it. You guys know how I feel about the NaNoWriMo websites if you have been following me. I despise the NaNoWriMo website. It used to be perfection. I liked how they were separate, and now it's merged together and I feel like it just does not work the same, and I know that it's never gonna go back to the way it was, because the Camp NaNoWriMo site no longer exists. It cannot be found. And that breaks my heart, because it kind of takes the fun out of it for me, because I loved the website, I loved the stats, I loved doing everything on that. So kind of having the website not being how it used to and not working as well and not feeling as freeing for Camp NaNoWriMo as it used to, it's kind of taking the fun out of it a little bit, and I'm kind of not looking forward to them anymore like I used to. It's a weird time. I'm hoping that they figure things out, but they don't seem to be, like, they keep saying, oh, these are our priority things, and then nothing seems to be changing. This is like a side rant, but like my Camp NaNoWriMo stats from last year, April and July, have been missing since they made this change back in like September. I think it was September. And they're like, oh, it's our top priority, or one of our top priorities, to get your stats back. And it's been how many months? And I still don't have my stats back. And I'm annoyed, because I did really well on those two Camp NaNoWriMos, and the stats just aren't there anymore. But I have proof, I have vlogs that say that I had those words. It's annoying. So that's my side rant. If there was like a chapters goal option on the website, then I probably would be participating in Camp NaNoWriMo and trying to do it that way, but it's just not there and it doesn't fit into what I'm currently doing. But I am hoping to do July Camp NaNoWriMo with The Show Must Go On, which is my NaNoWriMo 2019 project, because I want to re-outline that and rewrite it this year. It's one of my writing goals, but I don't know, but that is kind of the tentative goal, is to do it in July. But Camp NaNoWriMo's aside, let's just get into that Q&A that I told you guys I would do. Okay, so I've got the questions written down here. What writing advice would you give your younger self? So I don't know how young we're talking about here. I'm gonna go to like end of elementary school, early high school, so like 12 to 13-year-old Brittany, because I used to always say, oh, I'm gonna write a book, and then I would never outline or do anything. I would have like rough like ideas of what I wanted to do, and I would just sit down and start writing, and I would always get stuck. I don't know how many words I would typically get stuck at, but I would get stuck. And I think my novels would always end at around 60-ish pages, which is not a novel. That is like a short story type of deal, and I couldn't understand why I couldn't just make it longer and keep going. It's because I didn't outline. I didn't have a plan. I didn't know how to take those story ideas and turn them into novels. I didn't know how to stretch them that far and add all different conflicts and subplots. I didn't know how to do it. So I would definitely tell myself to outline, because then maybe I could have written more books by this point. I would tell myself to outline, definitely, because I've learned that I'm definitely an outliner. What genre would you absolutely never write? For me, that kind of goes hand in hand with genres I don't typically read. So I would never write a sci-fi. I have no interest in writing that, so sci-fi is definitely something that I would never write. What's the hardest thing about the writing process for you? Everything. Absolutely everything. And this kind of goes along with another question I was asked, and it is, what is your favorite part of the writing process? And my answer to that one is whatever I'm not doing. When I'm drafting, I wish that I was revising. And when I'm revising, I wish that I was drafting. And so to go back to the other question, what's the hardest thing about the writing process? It's whatever I'm currently doing. And then I just trick myself into thinking that the next step will be easier and more enjoyable, and it never is. Like when I was drafting draft 2 Reasons Why Not To, I was like, I just need to revise this book. Like, I'm so done drafting it, I just want to make it better, and now I'm in the revising stage and I'm like, I hate this. This is hard. If you could describe your work in progress with one song, what song would it be? So that's Anxiety by Julia Michaels featuring Selena Gomez. I absolutely love that song. I would sing it for you and jam out with you, but I've already done that in a writing update, I think, so I'm not going to do that again. There's a couple other songs from Shawn Mendes that kind of work. There's Nervous and In My Blood that also kind of fit the anxiety thing, and my book definitely features a lot of anxiety. It's kind of like the focal point of the book. If you have not listened to Anxiety by Julia Michaels, I definitely recommend it. She is a songwriting queen. Another question is second drafts. How do you approach them? Not well. What kind of a laugh was that? So Reasons Why Not To is really the only true book that I've ever actually revised and moved on to more drafts, and I don't know, because draft 1 was such shit in my eyes that I had to completely rewrite it. So the way that I approached that was, first I reread the draft. I printed it out, which you don't have to do. I reread it. I made notes in the printed out pages and also in a notebook. I realized I had to make the decision that I needed to rewrite this book, so I then re-outlined the entire book, and then I had to rewrite it. But that's not always going to be the case. The first draft isn't always going to be a total throwaway, I hope, because The Show Must Go On might also be a total throwaway. We'll see. But yeah, I am not an expert on how to go from the first to second draft. Maybe when I get my shit together a bit more, if that ever happens, maybe I can talk about that with a bit more confidence and to help you, but for right now I am not the person to ask on how to approach second drafts because I'm not good at it. The last question, which is kind of hard for me to answer, I don't really know, but it's, what's 3 words you'd use to describe your work in progress? So Reasons Why Not To, I would say, is very, very bookish. My main character is a booktuber, loves books, ends up working in a bookstore. There's a book festival. It's just book lover's heaven. It's bookish. And the other word I put is emotional, but not necessarily like, oh, like you're gonna cry while reading this book like all the time. Like, it's not like a sob fest kind of book, but it's kind of, it's emotional for, I think, people who have anxiety. Because when I read books about anxiety and there is like a quote or a part that heavily resonates with me on that anxiety front, I get really emotional. So it's kind of emotional in that sense, and my main character Lila goes through a lot mentally and with her anxiety, so I guess that's where the emotional word comes from. And then the last word, I had a really hard time trying to decide what kind of words to put, but I put dream, or like dreamer or dreaming, because this book heavily focuses on Lila dreaming of things. She dreams of going to the book festival, she dreams of meeting her internet friends, she dreams of not being anxious anymore, and all of these things. So that's like a really bad answer. I don't like those words that I chose, but I really couldn't think of anything else. I don't know. So that is my writing update for Reasons Why Not To Draft 3 and kind of everything that's going on in Camp NaNoWriMo news. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like this video if you did enjoy it. Comment down below what you guys are currently working on. I'd really love to know what your writing projects currently are. Let me know if you're participating in Camp NaNoWriMo. I wish you luck if you are. And subscribe if you've not yet already, and I'll see you guys next time.